Good afternoon, everybody. It's really good to see you all. It's great to be here with our absolutely fantastic Education Minister, my good friend Erica Stanford, and also our awesome local MP, Greg Fleming, who represents this area. And can I just say to Principal Jessie Lee, thank you for hosting us so generously, mate, at your school. It's absolutely fantastic. You've got amazing young people who are very enthused about learning. That's obvious even from the walk into here. I think all of you understand this is a government that has huge ambition and aspiration, and one of the things, the most important thing we can do is actually build out a world-class education system for our kids. There's nothing more important to me, there's nothing more important to Erica and Greg as well. We believe that if we can set our kids up with a better education system, they can go out in the world, they can access higher paying jobs, and they can do well for themselves. And in fact, we believe it's one of the 5 things we have to do as a government in order to build the future and to create a higher standard of living for all New Zealanders. So I'm really proud this is a government that has taken immense action in the last 2 years on education. When you think about the work that we're doing to get kids back into school and to drive attendance, we've made some tremendous progress there. When you think about the work to ban the mobile phones and what we're seeing with less cyberbullying and more focus in the classroom, it's an absolutely amazing set of results and efforts there. An hour of maths, an hour of reading, an hour of writing in every school, coupled with a very science-driven approach into structured literacy and structured numeracy, which Erica and I had understood well in opposition and have implemented very quickly. And now we have one way, same way, every day reading being taught across this country. And the results when we think about our 5-year-olds who are showing up here in their first year in school, and when you see an 18 to 20% improvement in those at or above the standards what we would expect on phonics in the first 6 months, and then you see the glint in their eyes about actually how passionate they feel about learning and how confident they feel, that's an absolutely fantastic result. We've done a lot of other things. We've put some hothouse programs in place, particularly around mathematics and other things for young kids getting caught up as they go into high school, knowing that we've had some challenges of kids not being at the standards we want them at on reading and mathematics going into high school. And of course, we've got a major replacement of NCA with our students in Year 9 starting this year, going to have the benefit of a much more knowledge-rich curriculum as we go forward. A lot of curriculum work to make sure we're very focused each and every year that we know what kids are learning. Very good work on reporting back to parents so you know where your child is and how they're progressing. And again, we'll have more announcements today, which actually Erica will talk to in a minute. But you know, we are a government that came to government to get things done. We are not there to muck around. We are there to lift seriously and build out a world-class education system. And I think the work of Erica, the ministry, and all the teachers that have got on board with the changes that we've implemented in such a short period of time and what we've achieved in just 2 short years, I'm incredibly, incredibly proud of, because this is what New Zealand needs, because this is an awesome country and it has so much potential, and the potential starts with our young people being set up well to do well for themselves. With that, I'll pass off to Erica to talk about the announcement that we're making today.
Thank you, Prime Minister, and again thank you to Stanhope Primary and to Principal Lee. Thank you very much for hosting us here today. Today is a story of delivery. We are a reforming government when it comes to education, and over the last few years we have been analysing the data, and the data tells us that we have a long way to go in reading, writing and maths, and so we have been putting in place whole class interventions, and then those targeted and tailored interventions to those children who need a bit of extra help to catch them up to where they need to be. And today is a story of delivery. We came we announced last year that we needed some action on writing, because only 24% of young people were at curriculum by the time they went to high school, not giving them the skills and knowledge they needed to be successful at high school. So we announced our Make It Right action plan, and today we are delivering on that. The Make It Right action plan will deliver 120,000 students between Year 6, and we had said Year 8, but we've extended it up to Year 10 to make sure that those students will receive intervention programs, a 14-week program to help raise their ability in writing to get them up to the standard they need to be at, and that is targeted at those students who are at least a year or more behind curriculum expectations. This is a significant investment. We're doing a very similar investment into mathematics and into reading, and this is the next step into writing to make sure that all children are where they need to be by the time they go to high school. We're also here today, though, to talk about our science kits delivery. It was a major part of Budget 2025. As with all curriculum areas, we're providing resources to support the new curriculum, and professional learning and development as well. And we knew that with science we would need curriculum aligned resources to help support the implementation of that. Now, of course, the science curriculum is not mandated until next year, but we wanted to make these science kits available this year so we could scale up, so that we could get them curriculum aligned. And we are very, very proud to be working with House of Science, who have been doing this for a really long time, and Chris Duggan is here with us today with an amazing track record in delivering science kits around the country. This particular school has been using them for 3 years with incredible results. We want these kits and these resources to be available to every school in the country, so that we can get young people excited about science and scientific ways of thinking. And so from 2027 they will be scaled up to be in every single school aligned with the curriculum. And then, of course, the last part of our announcement today around delivery is for mathematics, and that is an extension of our primary school maths resources, which are the textbooks, the workbooks and the teacher guidebooks, up into years 9 and 10 available digitally. And this is a direct response to the sector telling us that there was need at year 9 and 10, and I want to thank SPANS, the Secondary Principals Association, for making the suggestion and ensuring that we were also thinking about extending it up. So from this year there is an online tool from EdPerfect available to our year 9 and 10s to make sure that they have that equitable resource as well. So as I say, my message to parents is that you will notice that there are far more resources available in the classroom that your children have access to, whether it's a maths book, a decodable reading book, or a science kit, whether it's a new curriculum, whether it's the online maths tool that helps your children learn at home. You will notice a difference. We're already starting to see improved results. And you will also see that through the reporting to parents and the twice yearly assessment that will be happening from this year to measure student progress, so that we know when to put more resources into your children so that they can reach their full potential and go on to live the life that they want. So with that, we're very happy to answer any questions.
Yeah, well, look, I mean, I'll just say, I do want to say I've just come from a school that's being built over in Westgate just this morning, and it was interesting. I ran into one of the construction workers, and he said his 7 and 9-year-old were already coming home much more focused on schooling and education. So parents are actually seeing and feeling the changes that we're talking about. Hey, but listen, why don't we take questions around the announcement and around education in general, and then we'll move to topics of the day after that, if that's okay, just to manage it.
What is the difference between these and other science?
Sorry, can you mind standing? Yeah, sure. Look, the Ministry of Education went out and did an RFP process. We wanted to have practical resources that were available in schools that they didn't have to keep investing in. So the great thing about this resource is that it comes into the school, it gets taken out at the end of a certain period of time, fixed up, new batteries, anything broken, fixed up, and then a new kit with new materials sent back to the school so that they can cycle through the different topic areas in science without having, broken or missing parts or no battery kits that are sitting on shelves and not used. And so it is quite a new way of doing things. It's House of Science have been around for a while, but not all schools have had access to it. Now every single school from next year will.
And what do these science kits include?
The science kits will include all of the materials you need to run experiments. They also include lesson plans and professional learning and development for the teacher as well. So not only are we investing in our young people and getting them excited about science, but it also comes with all the professional learning and development, lesson plans and materials for the teachers as well.
Are you able to comment on the Teachers' Council decision from this morning?
Which one was that?
Where they identified an inadequate focus on ensuring child protection.
Yes, well, that's been out for a little while now. I've had the report on my desk since the 24th of December. It was hugely concerning that a regulatory body who is in charge predominantly of protecting our children had a lack of focus, and I think I've written to the Chief Executive to make my intentions clear, that I think the Chair of the Board actually, to make sure that there is a process that we go through now of making sure that the decisions that have been made over the last few years are robust, because I have some serious concerns.
Is writing a letter enough here? Doesn't it demand
Debbie
more
Francis.
Yeah, look, I am working with the Ministry right now. In fact, I had a call with the Chief with my Secretary of Education this morning about the next steps, because it is up to the Governing Council of the Teaching Council to undertake this review. But if they don't, then I would talk to the Secretary of Education about what our next steps are, because it needs to be done.
What would those next steps look like?
There needs to be a further investigation about the last sort of, let's say, 5 years worth of cases that have gone through the Teaching Council, so that the public and the teaching profession can be assured that good decisions have been made. Because in the light of that report, it would suggest that they have not had the capability or the focus to make good decisions.
You talk about writing letters, you talk about launching investigations. Your critics might look at that and say that's just not good enough. There needs to be action now.
Well, we have to remember, Jason, that they are an independent statutory body. So we have to give the governing body a chance, of course, first to take those actions. This is very different than a Crown entity, where I would have a very different course of action. I'm going to leave it with them. With these decisions, I've only just written the letter relatively recently, and we will see what the steps are that they will take, and then, if need be, I will step in.
Why did you extend the rollout of, I think it was the writing
9 and 10s.
resources from year 6 to 9 and 10s, and is there a cost associated with that?
The rollout for 9 and 10 came from the sector. Not only could we see that the results from the Curriculum Insights study showed us that children weren't where they needed to be at the end of year 6 going into intermediate. The request from the secondary sector was, we're really struggling with writing, and you can see that in the co-requisite results as well, and we needed something that went right up. And so I'll have to go back and check with you on whether or not we had to invest some more money, but I think we were able to stretch to make sure that we could cover those final 2 years as well.
Will there be enough licences for those students who wish to participate?
There's 120,000 licences, and we'll see how we go in the first year, and if we need to make further budgetary decisions, we will.
Minister, is Chris Duggan also the correct that she's also involved in the writing of the curriculum? And if so, do you think that's appropriate, given that so much money has been injected into these kits that are made by her company?
There are many people who are involved in the writing of the curriculum. We are a very small country, and there are certain experts that need to be involved in the writing of the curriculum. When it came to the RFP process, this was a very strict process that the ministry ran. It was very tough. It went for a very long time, and it was very even-handed and very fair, and they awarded the contract based on the criteria that they set, and everything in terms of conflicts were managed appropriately.
So you don't think there's any conflict?
No.
What about the perception of a conflict of interest?
Look, there are many people in this country who need to be involved in curriculum writing, who are also involved in providing resources and doing professional learning and development. We are a very small country. What matters is that the Ministry of Education run a very above-board process that's open and transparent, that everyone has access to, and they make a decision based on the criteria that they set, which they did, and I'm confident that they made a good decision.
Just on the $40 million, could you tell us how much of that has gone towards the kits themselves? $40 million injection.
Well, all of it is going to the kits.
So that entire $40 million is towards
That is the kits, the professional learning and development, the resources for the teachers, the kits themselves, swapping them in and out. As you can imagine, it's not just sending a kit to a school and set and forget. It is a matter of making sure we can get it in and out of the school as well.
cost of one kit? Is there a cost?
It might be commercially sensitive, so I might not be able to answer that.
In the hundreds or thousands, like any sort of estimate?
I'll come back to you on that.
But isn't it great that we've actually got kits that are inspiring kids to want to engage and teach science and learn science? And I just came through a classroom before, and when you see young people turned on to the power of actually learning about science, and if the kits are what does that, that's awesome, isn't it? I mean, we need to step change our education in this country, and having resources like this is really fantastic.
And just on the PPTA's criticism from earlier this month that there's delays in the English and maths and citizen arriving, we did talk about it at an earlier stand-up. Could you give us a bit more clarity on where that's at? Have the resources arrived now?
Yes. As I said to you, I think at the time, the maths resources were already available. I don't think the PPTA even knew about the other resources. We'd only just informed them. So, look, I think they're asking the wrong questions. I mean, the fact is that they're here. We're responding to the sector. It was requests that came from the sector only late last year. We worked at 1,000,000 miles an hour to make sure that they were available. We've got them in class. They're there. And my message to the PPTA is you're welcome.
They
Yeah.
were supposed to be mid-January, but then they did arrive in February, right? So it was.
They were available for the beginning of semester.
Can we just ask about some other news?
Yeah, so everyone
Yes,
finished with the
thank you.
educational stuff?
Or just quickly,
Yep.
was Teaching Board CEO Leslie Hoskin asked to resign, or did she step down voluntarily?
Oh, you'll need to talk to the governing council about that. It's
Can
not a
you give
matter
any
for me.
reassurance, to parents and teachers following these two significant probes?
Yeah, well, my message to to the sector and also to parents is that look, the Teaching Council had most definitely lost their way. They were not focused on child protection, but we have a brand new governing council that I have appointed most of the members on now. We are making legislative changes to make sure that there is more oversight, monitoring and good governance of the council to stop this happening again. And I am confident that the new board and their action plan and the interim CE are focused on what they need to be focused on, which is making sure that they are a proper regulatory body ensuring child safety.
And just as well on the science kit, why does there need to be a specific suite of science kits for Māori medium education?
Well, we have a different curriculum for Māori medium education. It is timarotanga. It's delivered slightly differently. It is aligned with the New Zealand curriculum, but it has a slightly different focus. And so it was important that we have kits that are available in Te Reo Māori that have professional learning and development for kaiako, and that is aligned with the timarotanga science curriculum.
Okay, let's go to the other questions of the day.
Why is New Zealand supporting the removal?
Sorry?
Why is New Zealand supporting the removal of ads without that?
Oh, look, it's the UK government's leading that work and that decision. All I've said is we'll definitely support whatever they come to, and we would definitely support that. We've been in contact with the UK Cabinet Office over the last week or so, and our view is the UK government are wanting to have got all options on the table. Obviously, the investigation needs to close out before they would then pass legislation to remove him from the line of succession. The bottom line is no one's above the law, and once that investigation's closed, should the UK government decide they want to remove him from the line of succession, that's something we would support.
So you wouldn't go in like Anthony Albanese and preemptively write a letter then?
We've already been in conversation with the UK Cabinet Office, and they know that we are supportive. Should they remove him from the line of succession, we would be very supportive of that decision.
What did those conversations look like with the UK Cabinet Office? Who were you specifically talking to?
Well, our Cabinet Office talks to the Cabinet Office, and we have conversations with the UK government at official level all the time. But
Was it you personally?
no, but it's our officials, and our position's well understood, and that's been important, and I'm telling you what our position is now.
Do you think it's important that the Prime Minister, Anthony Albanese, made this very public declaration? He wrote a letter. Do you think it's important that you do something the same rather than just leaving it official to official level?
Well, I think it's really important that the UK government are leading on their thinking around the line of succession. They will only pass legislation once all investigations are completed, and all I've signalled to them, and they well understand our position, which is that we would very much support that. They have to go off, obviously, and get support of 14 realm countries around the world, and should they come to that decision, that's something that we would be very supportive of.
Why was this announcement made in a WhatsApp message rather than officially?
Well, just we can announce it anyway. Our position's clear. It's the same position as the Australian position, but rather than a formal letter doing so, we've been having conversations directly with the UK government, as you'd expect.
Why not do both? I mean, a formal letter is a powerful message for something that has been, I think, a messy saga really underplays it.
So, guys, I just say, if you want to get caught in process, this is a story where we've made it very clear, should the UK government remove him from a line of succession, after they have completed all investigations, which is what the UK government's telling us that they would do, if they'll look into after the investigation results are clear, all we've signalled to them is that we would support that. I'm telling you publicly, we're talking about it now, that's the key thing. Should he be removed from the line of succession, New Zealand would support that decision.
Do you think this whole saga has been damaging to the royal family and monarchy?
Well, again, nobody's above the law. I'm conscious there's an ongoing investigation in place, but we expect everybody to be treated by the law, and nobody should be held. What we have seen is incredibly disturbing, incredibly concerning. But as I said, should he be removed, and that's something the UK government wants to do, and if there's anything else that they've got all options on the table, we are up for that as well.
Why is this action being spurred now, and it wasn't spurred from the release of Virginia Giuffre's memoir?
Well, again, new information has come to light. Obviously, the UK government leads a conversation about line of succession. It does need the sign-on of 14 other realm countries from memory. And all we can do is say, look, we'd be very supportive of that. Should that be the decision of the UK government, we would sign up for that. This has been a horrific amount of abuse that has taken place across this country, across the world. You've seen elites involved and connected to Epstein in a way that is just utterly unacceptable. But again, we've got an investigation going on. The UK government, by its own admission, said that all options are on the table, but they will look at legislation and what they need to do post that investigation closing out.
This saga has again spurred Republicans within New Zealand to ask the question, should we still be part of the Commonwealth? Do you think it's time for New Zealand to become a...
I haven't seen a lot of public media reporting of Republican views in light of all of that. I think everyone finds the Epstein situation abhorrent. Everyone finds the abuse of young women in the way that has clearly happened unacceptable and just abhorrent again. And for us, it's about a specific issue in this case, which has been talked about in the UK over the last week. We just wanted to reassure the British government that should they make that decision, we would support that.
But isn't there enough evidence there to unilaterally make that decision? I mean, he's a bad egg, isn't he?
We don't make that decision. You know the process in terms of constitutional line of succession. It's legislation that needs to get passed, led by the UK government, but with the endorsement and support of the other realm countries. There is the UK government have stressed to us, there's an investigation ongoing. That needs to get closed out before any legislation would be implemented and brought to their parliament. Of course, all I'm signalling is, should they wish to remove him from the line of succession, we would support that. Clear as.
Within the cabinet office, from your cabinet office to theirs, and I know this seems pedantic, but did that happen before or after Anthony Albanese's letter was made public?
We've talked about this over recent days.
So before the letter became public?
Yes.
Do you have any advice on what his removal would be, the impact would be here in New Zealand? Would it have any titles and that sort of thing?
No, we've looked at that over the last 6 months or so, and there is nothing that we need to take action here within New Zealand with respect to titles he may have held, positions he may have held. We've worked our way through that in recent times, yeah.
Have you been briefed on the Medimat situation, by the way?
Yes, I'm aware of it. Obviously, it's an issue to direct to Health New Zealand. It's concerning, particularly when it follows Manage My Health. It's a reason for why I've been advocating very strongly that we need to strengthen our cybersecurity laws here in New Zealand, and also make sure that we're not laid back. I think in 2026, sometimes our New Zealand business environment has been way too laid back and not taking the risks and the threats seriously enough. But again, I'd ask you to direct that to Health New Zealand.
It's been 4 years since the Russian invasion of Ukraine. There is a meeting of the Coalition of the Willing tonight. Will you or New Zealand be attending?
Yes, I'll be attending that tonight.
Why do you think it's important that you personally attend that?
Well, look, I mean, I'm a big, I've got to know President Zelensky, fairly well in my time as Prime Minister. We've talked a lot. I've met with him often. I'm a big supporter of what he and the Ukrainian people are doing. They're standing up for the principles of liberal democracy, the principles that we here in New Zealand take for granted sometimes. They are fighting for them. So we stand with Ukraine. I stand with President Zelensky. The perpetrator here is Russia. They could stop this war, this illegal, immoral war tomorrow by withdrawing and stopping it immediately. But here we are on the 4th anniversary, and I think it's very important to send a message that we stand with them. You've seen also that we've continued to offer up more humanitarian support. I think bringing our total support package to $191 million, and also more sanctions. I think our 4th round from memory. We're a long way away. You saw us make an investment last month or month before around the Pearl program as well. That was a really well received support package from New Zealand, because it encouraged other European countries and Mark Rutte and the head of NATO to be able to go to other European countries saying, hey, listen, if New Zealand, a long, long way from this conflict, believing in a principles base and a values base that this is an important fight, you should be able to contribute more.
Just on that, Boris Johnson, just very quick, sorry, Amelia. Boris Johnson has called for British troops to be posted in non-combat areas. Do you support this call?
I'm not sure what he's talked about. I mean, obviously he's not the Prime Minister of the UK.
Just a call that he's made. I mean, is that something that you would support?
There's people making calls all the time. What's really important is that there is serious discussion amongst a group of leaders about Ukraine and how we keep the pressure on Russia, and actually how we actually get Russia to the table to get a long-lasting and enduring and sustainable peace. And that has been the work that we've been talking about in our series of meetings that we've been having over the last 6 months in particular. And again, I suspect that will be part of our conversation again tonight.
On the social media, thank you. On the social media ban, can we get an update on where that is at? Because I think the last update we had from Minister Stanford was that Cabinet was locking in its decisions, and that an announcement would have been in the next few weeks, but it's now been more than a few weeks, so where are we at?
Yeah, I'll let Erica talk to that. Yeah.
Exactly. Look, I have got a cabinet paper that is going through very, very shortly, so we will have more to say. But there's lots of moving parts to this. We want to make sure we get it right. We are following very closely what's happening in the UK and in Europe and Australia. There is a real benefit to being fast followers, and for us to be able to pick up anything that we can improve on has been extraordinarily useful. So we will have more to say in the very near future.
Are the coalition politics playing into a delay?
Look, there are a number of people who've got concerns. There's nothing to do with a delay, but we want to make sure we can address those concerns through this process as best we can, and that means not just talking to our coalition partners, but the whole of Parliament.
And the second piece of legislation you're working on, which you described as having more teeth.
Yes.
Can you give some more detail about what that actually looks like and what other jurisdictions we're looking to that have they already rolled out?
Look, other countries have child protection acts of parliament that we don't have in this space. Other countries have regulators that we don't have. And so I think the thing about a ban is, well, I know the thing about a ban is that social media companies love a ban because kids can get around it. It is really a tool to say to parents, this is unacceptable, we're not going to allow this anymore. It is a social change. But the way that you get social media companies to change their behaviour, which is the key thing, so for anyone who does try and get around the ban, that they are having to report on certain things, that they are being properly regulated so that they're changing their behaviour, and that's the key thing for us, changing their behaviour.
So would we need to be in lockstep with other countries that you said have got that, because, down at the bottom of the world, like what power do we have over the biggest companies in the world?
Yep.
So
You're 100% right. So how is it that we are modelling off what other countries are doing and that we're all on the same page? There is a massive worldwide movement at the moment from countries who are popping up all the time who are looking to do exactly the same thing, so we need to be aligned. And my officials are talking to them.
Were any patients affected by the Medimat outage?
Again, I'd ask you to direct your questions to Health New Zealand. They've got the latest information. I'm aware of the breach and the issue, but they can give you more detail.
And will you read the people's
We've got to go see some science.
Sorry?
equity change? Will you read the
Oh, I'm sure I will in due course, yeah.